Now, today I was trying to decide what to come talk to you guys about, and I was really tired last night, and I just thought, I don't know, maybe I won't do it tomorrow. But the thing is, I made a commitment, and business isn't necessarily about what we feel like doing; it's what we've committed to doing. And we commit to do things because we want results, and I've committed to doing this because the results I want to get is to provide you guys with help every morning. And so I went to bed thinking about it, and I kind of knew the answer would come, and I was doing my own listening because I'm always working on things myself, and I realized the topic I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I thought it was really, really timely, just considering what's going on in my own business with my clients, my own self, is the topic of really aligning your personal growth with your income, because those two are really connected. And so I wanted to take a few minutes today to talk about this, and I think on our next couple of episodes we might expand into this just a little bit more, because I know so many entrepreneurs are out there wanting to make changes, wanting to make leaps, wanting to do the things they need to do. And, I've talked about this on other episodes of Living Forward TV, where, I've talked about the fact that you can get all the learning that you want in the world, like technical skills, and you can always in your business exceed, like your income can always exceed your level of technical ability. Like for instance, this was a great example this morning. My technical ability when it comes to audio and video is like zero. Yet, I'm here, I have help. We broadcast a show every week because I'm able to hire the team that is able to allow me to, it looks like I can see people coming in now. It looks like I got my signal back. Sorry, didn't mean to digress. But I'm able to hire the team that can help me do it, right? I don't need the technical ability to be able to broadcast or to know how to put a video together or to know how to do my makeup or to know how to do all those beautiful thumbnails. We get lots of people asking us on our YouTube channel, what program did you use to do your thumbnails? I'm like, I don't know. I have a graphic designer that does all that for me, right? So you can create amazing things in your life. You don't have to have the skills to do it. And Napoleon Hill talks about that in Think and Grow Rich, where he says, you can hire the expertise. Like you need expertise, but you don't have to be the one to have it to create the income. However, what you do need to have is the internal fortitude, the internal growth, because your income will never grow past where you've grown. And that's a really important thing to think about. And that doesn't just apply to entrepreneurs, right? That applies to everybody. And again, I'm going to put some links to these past episodes in here, and I want you guys to go and have a watch of them because they're really important, and we have handouts that will help you with this. But on one episode of Living Forward TV, we talked about when your income is stuck in neutral. We talked about the fact that many people will get to a certain level of income in their life, and then they will not get past that. So sure, they might get cost of living raises, or you see them looking to get that extra dollar or two an hour. But if somebody's earning $30,000 a year, once they get to that level, many times they stay in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. If someone's able to get to $100,000, they kind of stay in that range. Sure, maybe they get to 120, 130, but you don't see them necessarily jumping to $1 million and so forth. And there's a reason for that, and that's because income stops at your level of growth. And so as entrepreneurs, the beauty is we have like unlimited potential on how much money we want to make. Like in a corporate setting within your job, your pay is based on what they've banded for that salary. Now you could hop bands, right? You can hop salary bands. However, you can only do that once you've grown professionally. I did that. I leaped like 3 or 4 bands in one fell swoop, and it wasn't because of anything I did. It was because who I became and what I believed about myself and what I believed was possible for myself. And so, taking that, pardon me, I have a bit of a cough. Just give me a second here. Sorry, this morning is just full of me all over the place. I didn't want you guys to hear that. So, when you take that corporate example, if you see somebody who's working in a mailroom, they may work their way up through the lower end of administration, but don't always see a mailroom person making it to CEO. Now you do see that some examples, but why do some people go from mailroom, work their way through the corporation up to CEO, and others just kind of stay in some level of administrative support? It has to do with what's going on between the ears. And so as entrepreneurs, we want to make sure that we're not actually, limiting ourselves to like mailroom status in our own business. And so your personal growth is the most important thing you can do and give to yourself in your business. When I work with my clients, as much as they want to dive into, and I've posted about this before, they want to dive into like, well, what marketing strategy should I use? And is my website okay? And are my colors okay? We never start there, right? We always start at a more deeper level to get them clear on what they really want. And then we start building from there, because a lot of times, people don't even necessarily know what they want, because we're so conditioned to not ask for what we want. We're conditioned to be satisfied with what we have. And I mean, if you've heard this kind of stuff in your life, leave me a comment and let me know, because this is really common. I mean, I grew up in a household where we were taught to be thankful for what we have, and that we shouldn't be greedy, and a religious upbringing taught that money, the love of money, was the root of all evil. And so there was this fear of being labeled materialistic for wanting more. I know when I made the decision to go to college instead of devoting myself to God, there was a lot of societal and social pressure that I was making the wrong decision, that I was taking a materialistic move, right? And that had nothing to do with God. That just had to do with the people around me and their conditioning. And so, that's why it's so important when you're thinking as an entrepreneur, you want to make steps and you want to increase your income. You have to get all that monkey stuff out of your head, because even though you might consciously want something, if have had so much programming your whole life, it gets hard to work past that, right? Without help. And nobody can do the personal growth on your own. Like, it's not possible. Now, we can read books, we can watch all kinds of things for free on the internet, we can do things to stretch ourselves, but to make that leap and to get that growth, you want to align with somebody who is achieving what you want to achieve, and get them to help you and learn to think how they think. And it's not as easy as it seems, right? If you're trying to do it on your own, Einstein says you can't solve the problems with the same thinking that created them. And so you're not going to be able to use the same thinking you've had your whole life to grow your thinking, right? You can have a conscious awareness that you need to change it, but how do you change it? And that's where you get the help that you need with it, right? And a lot of times, we hear things like people say, oh, I'm going to say my affirmations, I'm going to study this, I'm going to put myself in a positive vibration, and all those things are great. However, the interesting thing about affirmations is we're kind of doing that at the conscious mind level, and we're using words and terms that our conscious mind understands, but our subconscious mind doesn't. So for instance, and I'm kind of veering off topic here for a minute, but just bear with me. But like, for instance, if you are saying that you're so grateful for the abundance and you have a lot of abundance in your life, I mean, that's your conscious mind understands that. Your subconscious mind, it sounds like wah, 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 wah. It doesn't know what that means. Like, abundance, what does abundance mean? Is it a lot? I mean, you need to be very specific. I mean, do you have $10,000? Do you have $100,000? And is it dollars? Like, what is abundance? Is it abundance of problems? Is it abundance of friends? You need to be specific. And so that's why, when I work with my clients, we really drill down and we get to that level of specificity. I was with a client on the phone the other day, and, we were talking and we were getting so specific, so granular. What kind of house do you want? How many square feet? Not a small yard. Tell me how big a yard you want. She says, okay, I think it was like 1/4 of an acre or something like that. We got to those level of specifics, and it's really interesting that even in something as small as that, we resist getting that specific. So that's where the personal growth comes in, because we have to be willing to want to go there. We have to be willing to be comfortable to get specific. And why we're uncomfortable getting specific is, again, it's that fear of putting out there what we want. It's that fear of saying, I want to have $15,000 a week deposited in my bank account, or whatever that number might be for you, because we just have this programming and this conditioning and everything around us that we should be content with what we have. So that's why when we think about, increasing our income and growing our business, it's unlimited. It literally is. There's no way in the world other than entrepreneurship, that you can just decide how much money you want to make. But why don't entrepreneurs make it? Right? Because it's unlimited. It's absolutely unlimited. So why don't they make it? Why don't they make the money they want to make? It's because on some level, they are making what they want to make, because if they'd wanted more, they'd be doing more. Now, that might sound a little kind of crazy, because especially if you're stuck or you're living in money fear and you're thinking, well, no, I want to be making more money. The truth is, everything in your life right now, if you take a look around you, is representing something you wanted at that time. It might have been you wanted to sleep in more. It might have been that you didn't want to spend your money more than you wanted to get a result. It might have been that you wanted to keep somebody happy more than you wanted to take a risk. It might have been that you didn't want to change more than you wanted to get what you wanted. So everything you have represents what you want, and everything you have represents what you believe. And we talked about that on Tuesday morning meeting. And it's getting that awareness and realizing that sometimes your conscious mind, your subconscious mind are unaligned. And other times you're going to have fears that are holding you back, right? And so that's why your income entirely depends on the person you become, the person who makes it happen. And I can't remember who had this quote, and it's you'll all know it. It's a very popular quote where it talks about, it's not so much what you create with your goals or achieving your goals, it's who you become in the process. So to be that entrepreneur that makes that income, that makes that impact, that makes that difference, you need to be that person so that it can start happening, right? It's not, you don't make these things happen and then step into being that person. You have to step into that person first. And like I said, I'm going to put that link to our episode in the comments, because it's so important to realize that, as I said, your income can always exceed your technical ability. If you want to open let's just say you have this dream of opening and Denise, I'm using this as an example because you're here and I'm thinking of you, but if you have an example, you want to open a really big spa, and you're thinking, well, I'm not a massage therapist, I don't have these skills, I don't have those skills. You know that you don't need them, right? That you can hire the people for those roles. And you know that when you're doing that you can just own the business and you can put the right people in, and you can make a lot of money at something like that, right? Or if you want to have a restaurant and you don't know how to cook, you don't need to know how to cook. You need to hire some world-class chefs if cooking isn't your thing and eating is, right? So you don't need to have technical skills. Again, as I mentioned, I have zero skills when it comes to audio and video. I probably should have some, and more than I have, but I don't have them, and yet I'm able to get the support and get the help I need and have the team to help me on the back end, right? However, hiring people is an area of growth, because you have to have the confidence in knowing how to select the right person, the confidence that you can pay that person and be able to generate the income to pay that person, know how to lead them if they're the revenue generators in your business, know how to lead them so that they're generating revenue so that you can pay them. So there's a whole, these are just small examples, right? I could go on and on and on like all day about the different personal growth points that as entrepreneurs we need to hit. So the most important thing to remember, and we're going to be touching on this between now and the end of the year, because we've got a month left. Tomorrow's December. It's hard to believe it's already December. And we've got a month left to finish the year strong. And even if you haven't quite hit your goals for this year, it's amazing what you can do in a short amount of time, right? You can create things really, really quickly if you make the internal shifts. And you can also you can set new goals and think, what do you want to accomplish right now? And when you want to think forward to 2018, you want to think about, what do you want to accomplish in 2018? And so as you write these goals down, and I want you to get really specific. And I'm not there with you to work with you and help you with them, but I want you to do exactly what I had one of my clients do, is write it granularly. Write it so that your subconscious mind understands, and write it so that you can get some kind of alignment and get so specific, right? You want to be thinking about, okay, let's just say your goal next year is to have more clients. Well, write down, how many more clients do you want? Do you want 5 more? Do you want 10 more? Because one extra client is more clients, right? Or saying you want to make more money, $1 is more money. So get really specific. And then think about the goals you want to achieve with that money and those results. What do you want to have with that? Do you want to go on a trip? And if you do, like, don't write down, I want to stay in a nice hotel. Go research and find the exact hotel you want. Like, write it down that granularly and write that down. And I'd love for you to come back when you're done and put comments here on this video on what you've done and what you've decided to do and how granular you are with those goals. And then look at that list and ask yourself, who do I need to become to achieve that, right? What am I doing or not doing now that's keeping me from being that person? And who can help me, right? Who is the person that can help me with this? Who is achieving what I want to achieve? Who knows what my next steps are, both tactically and internally, right? And go find that person. When I work with my clients, we're opening up the doors in January to our mastery program. I'm going to put a link to that below as well. And I purposely designed that program to just go so deep into who the client is as a person so that they can achieve what they want. Because honestly, business is really simple. Like, I've run multi-billion-dollar corporations. The business piece is simple. But even in those companies, it was the people that made it difficult, or the people that raised challenges. And so we always had facilitators and coaches and leaderships and retreats and all that stuff to get the people working so we could achieve our goals. Because what we actually had to do was, even in really complicated, like really technically complex things like building a mine, the business part was really simple. You pull the gold out of the ground, you mill it, you mine it, you mill it, you ship it off, you sell it on the markets, right? And you make money. But getting to all that required a lot of people, a lot of cooperation. And so that's why we had to develop. And, we invested in developing our employees, right? So that we could all be the people we needed to be. So taking this to your business and, what I do with my employees, and I use that as an example because I think, when you think about running a mine, you might think it's the most complex thing in the world. It's not. It's simple. Your business is just as simple. My business is just as simple. So what's complex is you. And that's wonderful because we're human beings, right? So that's why, when I work with my clients and why we're looking at what we're doing in Mastery next year is we're getting to the depth of the person and the core of the person and their beliefs. And, we're looking at what's created the results they're having. How do we pull it out? Is there any subconscious stress or programming that we need to fix? And I know I can do that really quickly, right? It takes some work and we do it in person. But when we pull those things out, it gets really simple, because then when you have beliefs that align with your desires, because that's a big thing. If you desire something and you want something, but you're expecting something different, meaning you believe something different, you're always going to get what you expect. So that's why the personal development work is really important. If you want to talk to me, we have 30 days between now and the end of the year. I would love to have a conversation with you. I will put a link above this video. You can grab a spot on my calendar and we'll look at the spots in your business and in how you're thinking that are creating the results you have, and what needs to switch. That one little switch, sometimes that's all it be, that can help you take that next leap. So I'll put that above. I'm going to sign off for now. We're going to come back every Tuesday and Thursday with the morning meeting. I will have this broken down a little bit more in terms of self-growth, personal growth, and income growth, and how they line up. As I said, last night I was really sick, and I thought I just could not think about what to talk to you guys about, and then it hit me, right? I had a flash of inspiration, so I decided to come and talk to you guys about this today. And I'm hoping it served you, and I would love, again, if you're here on replay, also let me know that you're here. I will come back and interact with you, and I look forward to talking with those of you who would like to book an appointment with me. And have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'm off to an event with one of my mentors tomorrow, and I will be back here on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.